Alright guys, in this video I'm talking to Sarah, a Duke freshman who got in with mostly B's, some 3s on AP exams, and like 0 national awards. We're going to discuss her stats, extracurriculars, essays, and application strategy. And if you keep watching till the end, I'll reveal the one approach she used that made admissions officers choose her over thousands of perfect GP applicants. So if you find any value in this video, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much, and let's get started.
Hi, my name's Sarah, and I'm from North Carolina, and I'm attending Duke University right now as a freshman.
Okay, and what major are you doing?
I'm actually undecided right now, but
Mm-hmm.
probably something along the lines of like neuro or stats, but definitely on the pre-med track. And then probably double majoring in visual arts.
Got it. And is Duke the only university you applied to? Was it like early or?
Definitely not. I applied to a lot of schools actually, but I applied to Duke regular decision.
Okay, got it. And is this the only university you got in or like?
I actually got into RISD, so Rhode Island School of Design,
Mm-hmm.
and into UNC Chapel Hill, and then I
Okay.
I was on the Duke waitlist and then got off. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your achievement. I think Duke is an amazing college,
Yeah.
and I think it'll be really helpful for people who are looking to apply to Duke. That's what I'm trying
Yes.
to build here.
Yeah,
Okay,
Duke is a great
so
school, so
yeah. All right. So my first question would be like, when did you first consider Duke as a possibility? Was it like a dream school or did it become
it was
one later?
I would say, like, it wasn't at least, like, at the start of, like, my college application journey, it wasn't really, like, my dream school per se, but it was
Mm-hmm.
always, like, definitely a choice for me because my brother went to Duke as well, and
Uh-huh.
he enjoyed it, so it was always obviously a top choice for me. It like, especially at the beginning of my college application process, it wasn't really up there in terms of like what I really was like striving for. But I think now I realize like Duke is actually a very good fit for me. And like if I could go back and apply to like colleges now, I'd
Mm-hmm.
honestly probably ED to Duke.
Okay. Yeah, and then you don't have to get all the stress of the already.
Go through
Yeah,
all that.
yeah. 20 applications and yeah, scary stuff. All
Yeah.
right. Let's talk about your stats. So I guess like what was your GPA and test scores that got you into Duke?
hmm so my school only did weighted, so you didn't know you're unweighted, but
Mm-hmm.
my weighted I'd say was probably actually let me check my application because I kind of forgot. It was a 4.7-ish weighted.
Okay. And did you give any tests?
I did. I gave a 35 ACT composite score.
Got it. Got it. And like, what do you say was like the typical range for your school? Was your school like a large public school? Like, what was the situation there?
So my school was actually very unique. It was a residential public high school that was
Mm-hmm.
STEM focused, and it was only 2 years. So basically, students from all over North Carolina can apply to this school their sophomore year, and upon acceptance, like you basically live there. They have two campuses, one in Durham, which is the one I attended, one in
Mm-hmm.
Morganton, and then they have an online program that you can do in unison with your home high school, which isn't really the same, but, either way, it's still NCSSM. But it was pretty small, I would say. The
Mm-hmm.
class size was, um, a little over, like, 200, and obviously, like, since it's an application-based school and STEM focused, everyone was pretty up there with the stats. I'd say an average ACT score would probably be around a 34.
Got it.
Yeah.
And oh, 34, that's pretty high actually
Yeah.
for like
Mhm.
normal schools. Yeah. So like I guess like how hard was it like do you think it affected your grade as well because you were around people who were getting all of these crazy scores as well? So you think it
Oh,
pushed you?
yeah. It definitely, like, motivated me to definitely, like, work harder because you had to put in a lot of work to keep up with the crowd, if not, like, excel. So, going to a school like that definitely made the experience very different because, like, it is considered a feeder school, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, like, people who do really crazy things, like, when, like, ISEF or Regeneron or
Mm-hmm, yeah.
like win like international math competitions. Like it's a very competitive school too, I'd say. Like the environment was very competitive. So I didn't do any of those like crazy things. So like for me, I was kind of like a little bit different than most applicants from my school, which
Mm-hmm.
I think put me at a bit of like both an advantage in some parts, places, and a disadvantage too. But I ended up where I'm very happy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All's good now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like do you think it's like much harder to compete in a school like that?
Yes.
Like in school like that, there's gonna be everyone applying to I don't know, like Duke.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be so much competition. So like
Hmm.
I guess like my question would be like how do you differentiate yourself if you're in a situation like that?
I'd say either you have to be very, very outstanding in STEM, which that wasn't really the route I took. Rather, I applied as an art major because most of my extracurriculars are centered around like art or maybe like secondly like psychology. So like basically the route I took was to just like not focus on STEM, even though I
Mm,
did go to a STEM school. Kind of spike of my application was not STEM focused because I wouldn't have been able to keep up with, like, ISEF and
yeah,
Regeneron.
got it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense, makes sense. I think that differentiated you from the bunch for sure.
Yes.
Let's talk about class rank. So like what was your class rank?
My school actually didn't do class rank, like,
okay.
they got rid of it because it was, like, toxic. No class rank.
Okay, that makes how do you think you felt about your academic profile compared to other applicants? Because Duke is a really nice school, and
Yes.
everyone who's applying there is like insane in stats.
I think, in terms of GPA and test scores, I might have been maybe average, if not like above average a little bit. But in terms of like coursework, I would say I was a little bit above average because I took very advanced like math classes such as like multivariable calculus and linear
Mm.
algebra. And then I think, but the thing that made me stand out most was definitely my extracurriculars.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later
Yes.
once we get done with the academics. And you mentioned you had a 35 composite ACT score. So I
Yes.
guess my question is like, what was your starting score versus what was your final score?
So my first score I got was a 34, and then I actually it's kind of a funny story. The second time I wanted to take it, I slept in way too late, so I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't even brush my teeth. Like that's really embarrassing. I literally just like rushed out of the house and then I did like really bad. Got a 29 that time because I was just like so out of it. But then the third time I went and got a 35.
Amazing. And like, I guess like how long before your application deadline did you have your final ACT score done?
I think the one I used, my 35, the third time was October. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
like,
my first ACT was in the summer.
is summer senior year or junior?
Summer before senior year.
Okay, before. Okay, makes sense. All right. All right. I guess like I have so many people asking me this stuff. Like, if you had to
Yeah.
juggle essays and ACT prep, like, how do you manage both?
What I recommend is like, because what I did was spend a lot of time the summer before senior year studying for the ACT. So then, and trying to take it at least once during the summer, because then by the time classes start, you can really, like, one, focus on your classes, two, focus on college applications and writing your essays, and then kind of like push the test scores to like the rear end in a way. If you I think the best way is just to, like, just have your brain clear so you can focus on, like, brainstorming and thinking about what you want to write in those essays.
Mhm. Yeah, makes sense. I guess like my follow-up question would be like, you had a pretty good starting score, 34. A lot of people don't get that. And so could you like walk us through your testing journey? Like, was it a struggle for you or did it come naturally?
I would say, like, for me at least, like, the SAT, I found it a little bit harder. So then I switched to the ACT,
Mm-hmm.
and I what I did was basically just take a bunch of practice tests over and over, and, like, every time what I like, anything I didn't understand, I just, like, kind of studied that, and I would say, like, practice is the biggest part. I remembered, like, timing myself and taking a good amount, like, over and over again until I could like, get pretty much, like, 33, 34 every time.
And like, if someone's looking to follow your route and give it in junior year, the summer before, like, how many months would you recommend them to study for it at least?
I'd say what I did was 1 to 2, but I
Mm-hmm.
also wasn't busy at all, so, like, I could devote a lot of my time to studying, literally just studying, but if you have, like, more things going on during the summer, I'd say maybe the whole summer, like 3.
Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. And you said like your course rigor must have differentiated you in terms of stats,
Yeah.
because you took very hard courses. Like, did you take a lot of AP classes as well?
Yeah, so at my old high school, before I applied to NCSSM, I took 7 AP courses,
Mm-hmm.
which was basically all the courses, AP courses that my school offered besides AP Lit, which I wasn't allowed to take because I was like a sophomore.
Okay.
But I don't really think those mattered that much because, I mean, like, everyone takes AP classes pretty much, and then, like, once I got to NCSM, they didn't really have a lot of APs. They only had AP Chemistry and AP Biology, which, like, people don't really, like, focus
Yeah,
on because, like, you have all these, like, more rigorous classes.
got it. And did you get like all fives on your AP exams, or did you have some fours
Definitely
or
not.
threes like most people?
I got mostly like 4s, I would say. I
Mm-hmm.
only got a 5 on AP Calc AB, and then I got about like I think I only got like 2 4s and then a couple 3s and then like a 1 on AP Comps. But I didn't mention that one in my application.
Yeah. No, it definitely happens. I think if I were doing art courses, it happened to me as well. Like I'm very
Yeah.
STEM focused and econ focused, so like
Mhm.
you gotta play to your advantage,
Yeah.
for sure. You took like insane courses though, like multivariable calculus and linear algebra. They're like college level courses.
Yeah, but honestly, at my, like, high school, it wasn't uncommon to take those per
Mm-hmm.
se. Like, I'd say maybe about like 60 seniors take linear algebra
Hmm.
or like multivariable has more, I think like maybe 80 take
Hmm.
multivariable or
Okay.
some
Yeah.
even take it their junior year if they come in already having calc too.
Yeah, I'm doing linear algebra right now, and the only
Uh-huh.
thing, like, it's easy, but it's very annoying because the solutions are like two, three
Yes.
pages long sometimes, when
Yeah,
you're
it's
doing
very
the,
like conceptual and then the
yeah,
proofs,
yeah.
I'm no.
Like, it's definitely one of the most annoying classes I've taken so far.
Yes, I agree.
So I guess like, you took all of these hard courses. So like, how did you balance taking all of these challenging courses while maintaining your GPA? Were you like scared it's gonna hurt you more than help you?
So my GPA honestly wasn't that great. Like I got a good amount of B's because I think like I rather than like focusing on my time into like getting A's in those courses, I like focused on things like outside of school too. And I think that like class rigor is more important than getting A's.
Mm.
So like I
Okay.
think it shows more that you're willing to like challenge yourself and explore.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. Like this, like a lot of students right now are very GPA motivated, but
Mhm.
this is like a different view. All right, so let's move on to your extracurriculars. So I guess, can you walk us through some of your extracurriculars, the ones you think made admissions officers take the most notice?
Um, let me read it off of my Common App. My number one that I listed in Common App was my nonprofit, which is Art to Heart, which I was the founder of. And then number two was I'm a professional artist.
Mm-hmm.
Number three was I illustrated a children's book.
Okay.
I'll just do the top 4. Number
Oh,
4 was I was an independent researcher and I like presented at some like research conferences and stuff. So my top ones were all very like art focused, but then towards the bottom it gets like, I was a residential life assistant at my school. I was like captain of 2 dance teams. So like I included some variety.
okay. Okay. I think that gave a lot of flavor to your application as well. I think that's what you need to look as well, rather than just like one. I did 5 Olympiads for sure. I guess like let's talk about your NGO. Like, how did you build it so that it showed impact? It showed significant impact for colleges.
Like, do you mean like how I framed it in my application?
How you framed it, and like, tell us a little bit more about the NGO as well. I think that would
Yeah,
be really
so
helpful.
basically, I think what enabled me to start my nonprofit was like becoming a professional artist because then it kind of gave me more of a platform
Mm-hmm.
and like the resources that I needed to be able to like build it. So I started it like my freshman year And basically what I do is like I do art related activities with children with autism to like improve like communication skills, interpersonal skills, like self-advocacy. Um and yeah, that's basically just how I framed it in my like application. I put a lot of, like, numbers because, like, that's the advice I heard, so I
Yeah.
try to include, like, exact numbers about, like, how many events I, like, hosted or how many, like, different companies I've partnered with, like, just, like, quantitative things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
mhm.
Definitely helps quantify your impact for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. Because like you have like 150 characters, I think. And the
Yeah, it's very
description, yeah,
short.
it's yeah. So you have to just impact, impact,
Yeah.
impact. I guess like my next question would be, when did you really start focusing seriously on building your extracurricular profile?
I would say, like, it wasn't really like a, "I need to do this for college" type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so like it came naturally a little bit after COVID. I painted a lot during COVID. My dad's an artist, so that's what kind of, like, began my passion for art. But, yeah, then I think that was one of, like, my biggest strengths in my application was being, like, a professional artist. Yeah, I honestly would say probably junior year. Like, I had activities that I did, like academic activities I did before that, but I think when I really started to think of it through like a lens of like, I need to do this for college, I think it was definitely junior year. And I honestly wouldn't recommend that because I think it's important to like have a better like idea of what your like application is gonna look like before junior year. So I wouldn't recommend that, but for
Yeah.
me, that's what I did.
Yeah, no, 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 like junior year, like everything ramps up so fast. You get
Yeah.
harder courses. You have to prepare for the test score, like SAT or ACT. You have to do the essays.
Uh,
Yeah, I
it was
guess.
really
Yeah.
overwhelming. Yeah.
So I guess like, what were you doing before that point that made you realize, oh, I needed to change? Like, let me look at the college application stuff as well.
It was definitely my school environment. Like, okay, because junior year was when I started attending that, like, competitive STEM school, right? Everyone was, like, so, like, focused on their academics and, like, talking about college applications too, and I was, like, seeing the seniors, like, get into these, like, crazy colleges like Harvard and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to, like I really need to focus." So, it was definitely,
Yeah.
like, the pressure of, like, my environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think pressure helps a lot because like I remember like my circle, like even though a lot of people were not applying, but like my closest friend group, they were all applying to top colleges like Vanderbilt,
Yes.
NYU, Princeton, stuff like that, and it
Mhm.
like pushed me so much as well. And
That's
that's why like I'm trying to emulate with this platform as well.
Yeah, I think community is definitely
Yeah,
very important in, like,
for sure.
supporting me.
All right. I get a lot of questions from students with somewhat scattered activities. You
Yeah.
had a little bit of varied interests as well, I would say.
Yes, yes, for sure.
So how did you make sure they all put forward like a consistent narrative throughout your application?
I think because a lot of my passions or my interests are a little bit, like, scattered in a way, I tried to, like, kind of connect them together in my supplemental essays, and I think, like, I got waitlisted from NYU too, and, like, kind of the one essay that, like, I kind of used for both Duke and NYU, that was kind of like, at least in my analysis of it, like, that was the common denominator in, like,
Mm-hmm.
getting waitlisted and not rejected from them, and it was about basically, like, having passion for art, but also having a lot of passion for math and how, like, basically before I thought they were very, like, diametric opposites, but then I learned how they, like, intersect and they connect, and, like, I think just, like, being really, like, because I think a lot of students are very worried about, like, having a very clear peak because that's what's,
Yeah.
like, kind of, like, shoved down our throats these days is
Yeah. Yeah.
having a very clear point. But I think, like, being, like, authentic and, like, why you're
Yeah.
interested in things and how they connect even if they don't seem like they should be connecting, I
Yeah.
think that is helpful, and that was, like, the common denominator that got me, like,
N-
not rejected from those 2.
Yeah. That is exactly what I've been telling to students. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
it's shoved down so much right now. But
Yes.
if you have your why, that's what they're looking for. That's what
Yeah.
makes it authentic. Like, why are you doing this? Like, students, they're like so scared about not having a spike. So they just, I have a lot of students who they put all of their activities, even they're scattered, and they're like make a consistent narrative out of it. So it's like
Mhm.
connecting it in weird ways, and you can see
Yeah.
like this is so clearly fake, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes it's really hard to try to, like, make a
Yeah.
one cohesive
Yeah.
narrative because no one has, like, one
Yeah.
singular, like
Interest. Yeah.
exactly.
Got it. Did you like add any community service to your application?
Sorry, let me I did. Okay. One, I put my nonprofit down as community service, and then
Mm-hmm.
two, this was one that was pretty, like, towards the bottom of my list. I was a judge for this contest that was kind of like a design contest that was like, it's kind of like weird to describe, but like the purpose of it was to like design a house for like to promote like children's mental health. But that was like considered community service for me. But like other than that, I didn't put like volunteering at like hospitals or just anything like that.
Got it. So, like, I guess, like, if a lot of the students tend to put community service, but their question is, how do you make sure that the admissions officers recognize that you genuinely cared about your causes? I guess.
I guess, like, putting that in the little, like, description section that they give you
Mm-hmm.
and trying to really emphasize that you weren't just, like, there just to get, like, some volunteering hours, like, you really state exactly what impact you had.
Did you feel competitive in that area?
Yeah, definitely not. Like, in a school full of people that have all these, like, crazy awards, like, international level stuff, like, my awards were definitely, I would say, very weak because, like I said, I didn't really start focusing that much on, like, my college application until junior year, so, like, I think, in my opinion, they were very weak, at least compared to the people around me. And, yeah, my top one was AP Scholar with honor, which is, like, in my opinion, like, pretty, like, kinda, like, boring. And then just, like, some, like, regional awards, like, it was very, very basic, and I think, like, compared to, like, other people in my school, a little
Mm,
bit lacking in a sense.
got it. And so, like, I guess, like, my question would be, what do you think then got your awards in honor section? Like, fill that requirement instead.
I received some kind of small scholarships on, like, the regional level and, like, some like a service award. I got a service award for being a judge for that thing. That's award. That was
Okay.
like a team award too. It was the chairman's award. I would say like don't be afraid to kind of change up the title, especially if the title of the award, like the actual title isn't very descriptive. Like don't be afraid to like maybe like add like a dash and then kind of describe it a little bit because I think that helps to like put it in perspective a little bit instead of just sounding like some random.
Okay. Got it. I think that this makes a lot of sense. Framing it would
Yes.
help a lot if you don't have the best, most competitive awards. Got it. Moving on, let's talk about your essays. So, my first question in that area would be like, how did you turn all of your, like, how did you turn your journey into compelling essays?
So my personal statement was about art. It was centered around art and kind of like my relationship with my dad and how art helped heal it. And then like I'm pretty sure everyone like hears this all the time. Make your supplemental essays different from what your common essay was about. Yeah, like I said, one of them was about like the intersection of like my interest in math and art. And then another one was I kind of mentioned like a research project I did about like inequities, like gender, racial inequities in art. And then obviously the Why Duke essay. Since I lived, my high school was like 5 minutes away from Duke, and my brother went to Duke. So I actually did have a lot of like experience actually being at Duke. So I think I was able to approach the Why Duke in a very
Mm,
authentic way compared to like a lot of other schools where I really like didn't know a lot about the campus and it's hard to know about it when you have never been there. So
yeah,
I think the why Duke was also pretty important.
got it. And we're less than 2 months away from ED currently, and my DMs are full of students who are just waking up to reality about essays. So, I guess, like, how do you suggest they approach the essay writing process at this moment?
I'd say the way I do it, approaching like all essays, is I brainstorm. Like I literally just do like what people call it brain dump. I dump onto a Google Doc and then like I just like think about it. Like I think like how would this like come across to the reader? Would this be like compelling? Is this interesting? Is this unique? Does this like portray me in a way that I want to be portrayed? And then just try to make it unique, try to add some personality in there. I know I tried to definitely like add like little like hints of like my personality into my Why Duke especially. But
Mm-hmm.
then for the other ones, just like really try to tell something that your application reader would not be able to tell through like anything else. Like you can only express it through your essay with
Got it.
your words.
And like, how was your experience with essay writing? Like, how many drafts did you have to do? When did you start? Tell us everything.
I started my Duke, I'd say, oh, it was so bad because I applied to like, a little under like 20 colleges maybe, and mostly all like regular. Like I was like during winter break, I literally just like made a massive Google Doc with all like 50 supplemental essays I had to
Damn,
write
that's good.
and
Yeah.
just like went down the list and I was like kind of like matching, okay, this topic kind of like goes with this topic. But my Duke ones, like I'd say I wrote them maybe 5 days before the deadline, which is kind of bad. But actually, no, maybe like a week. I'll give it a week.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I had one person read over them and help me revise. And then I yeah, I only did, like, one draft, which I guess, looking back, I probably should have done more, but I only did one,
But it did work out, so that's
I
fine. Yeah.
guess.
Like, I feel like if it's over edited, then it loses
It's
its
not
authenticity.
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Then you
Mm.
can like you try to implement a lot of people's opinions, then you lose
Oh,
your
yeah.
own nuance. Do you suggest having like a perfect story in your head before starting writing, or just cranking out as many drafts as one can?
Like, for the supplementals or for the
For the
for
main common app essay.
I definitely thought about it, like, a lot before I actually started writing it. Like, 'cause it's really hard to put your whole kind of identity into one 650 word essay, right? So, like, I brainstormed a lot of different, like, ways to take the essay and then just, like, narrowed it down to what I thought was the most, like, cohesive with my
Mm-hmm.
application and, like, most, like, kind of authentic and, I guess, like, telling of who I am as a person. So, I would say, like, definitely think about it.
Got it. I think that's all. We can move on from extracurriculars to college selection strategy. Just to a college selection strategy. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like this. Anyways, let's move on. Like many students don't have like a college they're truly passionate about. They just like
Mm.
some schools, and then they apply anywhere based on vague
Yeah.
inclinations. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how was the college selection process for you?
Do you mean, like, choosing what to apply?
Yeah, like what did your college list look like? Did you have like how many safety did you have? How many reach schools did you have? And how many match schools did you have?
So, my school is weird again. If you have a 3.5 GPA or above, you get guaranteed admission and free tuition to any UNC system school. So that's like all the public UNC schools. So most people go to Chapel Hill or NC State, depending on like
Okay,
their interests. So I didn't have any safeties because like UNC was my safety, right? That was
okay,
my so I applied to all reach schools, kind of all the Ivies except Dartmouth. Yeah.
okay,
And then I think like Northwestern and then RISD because I applied to the Brown RISD dual degree program, but
okay.
like didn't get it, but I got into RISD. And then I applied to NYU, got waitlisted. And then yeah, Stanford and I think it was just Duke and that was pretty much it.
Got it.
So all reaches because like I was very lucky to have like a school that would just give me a safety.
And because you had like a safety school already, did you not apply to ED?
I EA'd to Yale and got,
Okay,
like, deferred and then rejected, so
okay.
kind of like a shot in the dark
Yeah.
looking back on it because I don't think it's a good idea to apply to, like, Yale, Harvard, Princeton early.
It might have worked out, so like you
I
gotta
think for
shoot your
some
shot.
people it works out, but, like, for me, like, looking back, I shouldn't have done that.
Let's talk about your recommendation letter strategy.
Mhm.
So I guess like how did you choose which teachers to ask for recommendations?
I chose teachers that okay, first of all, I don't think I had the strongest recommendation letters because my school requires us to ask the teachers, like, basically, beginning of spring semester junior year, so you have very limited options when it came to the teachers you could ask. So I asked my physics teacher and my Chinese teacher,
Mhm.
which is kind of interesting, I guess, but okay, my physics teacher, I honestly didn't do that well in his class, like, I physics isn't really my thing, so
Mhm.
I kind of struggled a little bit, and I think the teacher saw that, but he also saw that I was willing to, like, really, like, work through things and be curious and try to, like, persevere through, like, the challenges instead of, like, kind of running away, so that's why I picked him, and instead of just, like, picking a class where that was kind of, like, easy for me that I did well in. And then my Chinese teacher, I just picked her because I thought we had, like, a good personal
Mhm.
relationship.
Got it. And for the physics teacher, like, how did you approach that conversation?
So, like, at my school, they kind of know that, like, we have a set, like, time period where all the juniors are asking teachers for letters of rec. So, I mean, I kind of just I sent him an email, like, mentioned it at the end of class, and then, like, they usually just hold a meeting with you to talk to you about it, and, like, you answer their questions about you so they can get to know you better. But yeah, it wasn't anything special, really. It was just kind of
Okay.
going through the motions with that.
And like, did you ever guide or prepare your commenders by sharing like a brag sheet so they could write stronger letters?
I think to my Chinese teacher, I shared, a resume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I did to my physics teacher, maybe, but also for the schools that allowed you to have optional letters of recs, I asked the COO of the art company that I work for to write me
Mm-hmm.
a letter of rec, and I think that was probably a good addition.
Yeah, probably. All right, moving on. Let's talk about outside impact on your application. So I guess like, did you take any advice from seniors, from anyone else? Did you have any help during your application process?
I would say most of the help that I got was, like, actually through, like, YouTube and, like, online because
Okay.
I don't know, like, I just like, a lot of the seniors I knew, like, were because a lot of people at my school only apply to, like, UNC Chapel Hill because, like,
Okay.
it's a good deal, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, at least the people, like, I was friends with, like, I didn't really, like, think, like, asking them would be very, like I don't wanna say beneficial because that sounds mean, but, like, just, like,
Impactful.
fitting for yeah, impactful, yeah. So, I got a lot of advice from, like, YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, and that, like, I wouldn't really advise that, but I think it's helpful to hear because you do hear a lot of different things, right? But
Yeah.
I think it's helpful to hear a lot of different things and then kind of, like, think about it and then, like, research it through actual, like, maybe more credible sources,
Yeah. But
and
it's like
then kind of
like
decide
yeah, I
what
think it's
you
like a double-edged sword
yes.
because some of them have like very ulterior motives into selling you
Oh,
very
yeah,
high
they just
ticket
wanna, like,
plans.
sell you something.
So they can just fear monger the hell out of you.
Yeah,
And then secondly, there's like so much advice. It's like you don't
yeah,
know which one is right. So you
exactly.
start doubting yourself as well. So
Yes.
yeah, like
But I do think something that helped a lot was, like, seeing, like, example applications
yeah,
of this student got accepted to Princeton, this student got accepted to blah, blah, blah. I think that was one of the most helpful things,
yeah,
especially
for
with, like,
sure.
essays.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do as well, like asking actual
Yeah.
students, because like not counselors and what they think.
No,
Like,
yeah,
what did the students do?
yeah. I think this is good.
Yeah. Okay, for students who feel behind, like, what would you tell them if they're like junior and they feel like, oh, I wasted my first 2 years of high school. I don't know what to do.
That's a good question because I guess, like, I kinda relate to that because I was definitely weak in some areas because of, like, procrastination. I would say, like, because most people already have like, at least, like, 1 or 2 things that they're already doing. I'd say, like, at that point, just try to, like, instead of, like, starting new things, because I know a lot of people that, like, you, like, rush to start a nonprofit, like, before college app season, and it's literally, like, just an Instagram, and I feel like application readers, that can literally just see through that. I think instead, you should build up on the things that you already have, like, a
Yeah.
foundation for and a hopefully an interest in.
Totally agree with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like what advice do you have for students with good but like not Ivy League crazy stats?
I'd say just I think essays are very important. So I think like if you like have maybe more average stats, but you want to go to like a reach school, I'd say like what you can like control the most at that point is like your essays. And I feel like essays can be very revealing about someone and like application readers really like good essays. Like when they're like really good, I feel like they stand out a lot.
Yeah. I think yeah, like I think stats like if you have like the cutoff point, after that it's just if they'll want you walking around on their campus as a
Yes.
person. Yeah.
It's up to, like, the type of person you are.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like my next question would be like how do you balance being like genuinely passionate about something while like also being strategic about college admissions?
I think you can I don't know. I think because I feel like for me, like, my passions have kind of, like, shifted a little bit, like, from, like, when I applied to college versus, like, now maybe. But I think, like, don't switch up too much, like, in high school, I guess. Like, even if you feel your passion, like, maybe in your head, like, starting to shift, like, "Ooh, maybe I don't actually, like this, like, that much," I'd say just, like, stick with it until, like, college applications are over because, like, you can, like after you get into college and you're at college, like, you have so much freedom to, like, change what you wanna do and, like, think about, like, different things, but, like, I think, like, obviously getting into college first is really important, so
Yeah, I think
it's the
I I think your advice of sticking with it is very good because like I tell everyone like deep side quests is the only way. Like
yeah.
if you're not deep into something, you're not gonna because you're gonna hate everything from at the start because you're not good at it.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
if
have
you're,
to
like,
get
somewhat
somewhat better at it.
and, like, for me, I'm kind of a person that changes my mind a lot.
Yeah, same.
You don't know if, like, what your new interest or whatever is actually,
Yeah,
like, an interest or if you're just, yeah, I do that a lot. I, like, juggle
like I'm
between
very
2.
similar in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess like my last question would be, what's the most important thing you learned about yourself through this college application process?
The most important thing for me definitely was that, like, you can never have too much pride in yourself, and you
Mm,
always have to have you always have to be ready, like, for your plan to change, and you have to have kind of the humility to allow your plan to change and to, like, work with it and find the best course of action. 'Cause,
got
like,
it.
for me, like, I didn't really get into, like, any top schools, really. I got listed from Duke and NYU, that's it. I was going to UNC, and I thought I was going to UNC. I was really prepared, right?
Yeah.
Like and then I got off the Duke waitlist, but, like, when before that, I was very ready to go to UNC. I was looking into, like, research. I was, like, getting prepared, thinking about my four-year plan because, like,
Mm,
as a pre-med, you kinda have to, like,
yeah.
stress about that a little bit, but I would say, like, no matter what happens, like, never let your pride take over, like, never have too much pride in yourself because at the end of the day, too much pride will always, like, work against you instead of working for you and allowing you to be the best version of yourself.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time. I think it'll be
Thank
immensely
you.
helpful.